Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with Trooper Talk with Trooper Wellman. Trooper Wellman, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
I did?
I didn't see on the news too many bad things happening. I mean, I'm sure bad things happen, but I'm just saying, like on the roadways and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah, this is usually one of our most deadliest, unfortunately, weekends that we usually have. And we kicked it off with being out there in full force on the IR-15. We joined forces with all of our southern agencies, from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department to school police to Henderson Police Department, and we were out there in numbers. So our goal and our what we were hoping to achieve was no fatalities this weekend. And unfortunately, we did have a couple, but it was much better than previous years. So us being out there, we hope it did have a good positive effect on the community.
So we were very thankful that that there was no wind and no rain and things like that this week, and no other problems, right? And so we were very thankful for that, right?
Yeah, all of those elements play factors in possibly causing fatalities. But the biggest one is obviously people being responsible, planning ahead, and not driving impaired. And we've really been preaching it all last week to people to practice safe driving patterns such as like no reckless driving, don't speed, make sure you use your turn signal when you're making lane changes, just be courteous to everybody around you, and ultimately to practice patience. And it obviously showed because we didn't have as many fatalities this holiday weekend as we have seen in the past. So we're just going to continue to keep promoting our Big Five out there and ask people to please plan ahead and make smart decisions before getting behind the wheel. And
I saw that you were in the paper, in the news again this last week. One of the things that we talk about, and we're not talking about any type of investigation or anything like that, but we lost a dear friend and a great upstanding businessman.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we always talk about, and not getting into that, but, is the seatbelt. And, how important is the seatbelt?
Seatbelt saves lives, right? I've seen it firsthand myself, and more than I can even count on two hands. It's very simple. They even, car manufacturers put that annoying bing, bing, bing in your car because they want to save your life. They want you to wear your seatbelt. Our airbags, or even when airbags deploy, they're tested, and the amount of force that comes out of the airbag to protect you is supposed to counteract with the seatbelt. So if you're not wearing your seatbelt, you're now making that airbag defective of the way it was made to protect you. So everything in your car is put in place to save your life potentially. So it's very simple, like please just wear your seatbelt. I've seen many collisions where people have been unfortunately ejected, and they could have probably walked away from the crash had they just been wearing their seatbelts. And I'm not talking in particular to this crash that happened this week, but there's been many, many crashes where people could have walked away if they would have just worn their seatbelt.
And we've seen on the Trooper Talk some of these horrific crashes, and you and Trooper Smack have been like, yeah, this person, had their seatbelt, and you're like, this person walked, not maybe, they weren't perfect, but, they like left the car or the truck or, whatever it is that they were driving, the automobile. You know what I'm saying?
The seatbelt served its purpose, and it saved their life.
Right.
Yeah, and on behalf of the Nevada State Police, we offer our condolences, and our hearts go out to the Lee family. Mr. Lee was a huge part of this community, and it affected everyone in this community, and it affected us as well. And being the responding agency to have to conduct the investigation, it's a large responsibility, but at the same time, it's an honor because he was a part of our state, our community. It's a beloved family, and it's just very tragic what happened.
Yeah, we offer our condolences as well. It's just horrific. You know what I mean? Let's get to some things here. So, Nevada State Police takes effect for the Public Safety Department. One of the things that we've always talked about, which is really cool, is that Department of Public Safety, that you can transition to a lot of different departments inside.
Yes.
And so that's one of the things that makes what you do really cool for a job.
Yeah, that's
right?
what makes
And
us
so
unique.
Talk to us about that, and then talk to us, so you're state police,
Yes. So,
highway patrol now.
on the East Coast, you'll see more state police versus, on the West Coast, you'll see more state police versus East Coast. And usually the state police means that they're almost like the alpha. They're the big agency. They're the ones that handle everything. Here in Las Vegas, we see that Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is our big one just because they're so large, right? The state police is going to help us unify all of our divisions. There will be no more confusion of Department of Public Safety, Nevada Highway Patrol Division, or Department of Public Safety, Parole and Probation Division. Now we are all the state police, and we still have our divisions, but it's less of a mouthful, and it's easier to just, specifically when we're hiring. So when we go to job fairs and people see Department of Public Safety, sometimes people don't know what that means. Yes, you can read between the lines, and it's like you're public safety. You're here to help the public and serve them, but you don't really know what that means. Whereas you see Nevada State Police, you're like, oh, I'm applying for a police department. Yeah. So it's more for clarity purposes as well as unifying our divisions. Now, if you come in contact with a parole and probation officer, they're going to say, I work for the Nevada State Police. If you come in with Highway Patrol, we're going to say Nevada State Police. If you go to Capitol Police, which is our government building, I work for Nevada State Police. If you do Governor's Detail, I'm Nevada State Police. Like, we're just unifying everybody. And then we have all these little entities that you can go branch off to if you would choose to, like different divisions, but ultimately it's just to simplify it. We're the Nevada State Police now.
Yeah, and it's a great new logo.
Yes,
right?
We've edited all of it.
And so it's very nice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people sort of had questions, as to, what is this, because they see it on the news and stuff like this. And so we wanted to bring it up to everybody that, it's there's no change, you know what I mean?
We're still Nevada Highway Patrol.
Right, it's just under that.
It's just when you think of Department of Public Safety, the first thing usually people think of is NHP, Nevada Highway Patrol. And so we want to get away from that because it's not fair to our other divisions because we all play a big role in the Department of Public Safety for the Nevada State. So that is why we are all now unified Nevada State Police. And again, you can still say Nevada Highway Patrol because that's our division. So it's just, we're just making it a little simpler.
Yeah, much simpler. I might make you cry on this one.
Yeah.
So a couple months ago, we were at the IPOF meeting, and Colonel Carpenter, right, was there, and we were talking, and he was there.
Cliff Fontaine.
And a few other troopers were there and stuff like that. And I never had the pleasure of communicating on a larger scale. But, I had the pleasure of talking, and you know what I mean, like on a smaller scale, and every time I saw him, and you know what I mean, that type of thing.
Yeah, you were still in his presence.
And so I saw this, and when I sent the text, and I said, my deepest condolences. I mean, this is 2 troopers in 1 year, and so I'll leave the floor to you to.
Yeah. So this is Trooper Cliff Fontaine, and he served for Highway Patrol for 16 years. He was also a medic with Medic West for 20 years, and truly just a beyond amazing man. And it's still a very fresh wound because it just happened. He's been battling COVID and some other stuff since October, and we've been sending positive thoughts and trying to stay positive throughout the whole process and keeping him and his family in our hearts. And unfortunately, Sunday he lost his battle to COVID-related symptoms. He is a father of 8, He is married, and I kept trying to think about what to say as I was coming over here because I knew we were going to talk about it, and it's so fresh. Honestly, the only word I can think of is, like, he's a saint. Like, literally the most selfless man, one of the most selfless men I've ever met. He, like the saying, I'd give you my shirt off my back for you. Like, I think that was created for men like Cliff. He not only always went above and beyond at highway patrol, but on his off time from wearing the badge, he would go put a different badge on and work for Medic West, literally saving lives on the regular. And not too long ago, his wife posted a photo on social media of him. He just pulled over. He saw some kids, one of them, their chain fell off their bike, and he just gets out of his truck and he helps the kid fix his bike. Like, that's like the kind of man he was, just always going above and beyond, on duty and off. And he was very involved with his church and his community. And this is a very, very tragic loss for us and for our community, honestly. You'll see through the upcoming days how much this man affected everyone. Like, fire departments, the ambulance departments, like us, people I didn't even, like, social platforms I didn't even knew him have been posting on behalf of him and his family, and it's truly amazing to see how big of an impact he had on the community. Like, we, myself included, the officers, we dream about having an impact on our community like Trooper Fontaine did, just in 16 years with the state of Nevada, and he did 20 with Medic West. But truly at this time, like, all I can ask is that the community to please help. He has 8 children, and he was the sole income. That's one of the reasons he worked 2 jobs, not only because he loved both of them, but he's the sole income for his 8 children and his wife. And behindtheblue.org is the website that you can make donations to for the family. We posted it on our social platforms as well, but we just ask everybody to, if there's anything you can give, please help, just because his family really needs it right now. And I just feel like this last couple years have been so tragic. I don't even know what to feel anymore. I'm so tired of burying my brothers. And so I know this one was to an illness, but I'm so sad and so heartbroken for everyone in our country that has lost loved ones to this pandemic. It's just not fair, you know? So
well,
my heart goes out to everybody.
Our hearts go out to you, and obviously to the Troopers family, you know, and so we want everyone to know, and, you know, that everyone will come together.
For sure.
You know, they always do, and so we want to do everything we can for the family and try to support them in every way we can.
And us too. You know, in tragedy there's beauty, and in this one, you know, we'll come together and we will help his family get through this hard time, and his kids will never be alone, and neither will his wife, just like we have been for Trooper May and Sergeant Jenkins, and it just sucks.
It just sucks.
Yeah.
All right, how about this one?
I don't like that angle, Neil.
Collaboration? You don't like this one?
I don't like that angle.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, no, this was part of the joining forces.
Oh,
where
yeah, you're all the way in the back. Well, Johnny, you hear that? Yes. Yeah, you better watch out. You upset. Everybody, just so you know, Johnny's the one who runs the production. Johnny, she's very upset with you now. You see that?
It's a double chin.
Double chin, Johnny.
Better angle.
Let's put the hand up there. You know what I mean? All right. So you talked about this before, though, the collaboration, right?
Yeah. So I failed to mention our biggest partner of the whole joining forces is California Highway Patrol. I'm sorry, my mind is everywhere today.
I know.
But yes, we partnered up with California Highway Patrol as well as our southern agencies, and this was us at the California Highway Patrol substation out at State Line, and this was the briefing prior to getting out on the road and saving lives. And there was well over 30 units combined with our motor units, then all the agency just patrol units, as well as we even had the helicopter units from CHP flying above, running the radar and stuff. So everybody was out there in an effort to save lives and slow people down, whether that be educating the motoring public in traffic safety or, issuing citations. But either way, we didn't have any fatalities that day, so it must have worked.
It worked.
Slowed everybody down.
That's what's important. And so we love things like this. We love to show off the interagencies, working together and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It doesn't matter who you work for.
So it's really wonderful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter. We just want everyone to slow down and so that everyone's here.
Yes, we wanted everybody to get to their destination safely, coming into town as well as leaving for this holiday weekend.
Yep, and it was great. All right.
Oh.
So I spoke to her before Thanksgiving, before her retirement, and so we're trying to get her on. She gave me the other phone number, so I'm trying to get her to come on. She said maybe after the Thanksgiving, but she had family in town and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody anticipates, even though she's retired, to come in.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Talk to us about, you're Las Vegas.
Yep.
This is a big deal.
This is huge. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so to be a part of history, and she was history. She was the first female chief for Highway Patrol, and to be a part of it was amazing. And to be in this position as a public information officer, I just wanted to take full advantage of it and just be able to photograph or do any kind of female recruiting, just anything to showcase the huge impact she played in paving the road for all of us future female law enforcement officers. Like, I don't even know if she fully grasped what she meant to all of us, as well as what she's done in her career that's paved the way for us. It's just, we're all beyond grateful. And it was so cool. She didn't even hesitate when I asked her, can I do a female campaign? Like, can I do a bunch of female photo shoots? And I made a female recruiting video that I posted on our social media as well. And she was like, of course. And, to be able to just talk to almost, besides the chief, it goes our director. So she's pretty much the top dog, right? And so in our agency, and to be able to just have a relationship where I could just walk in and talk to her. And it goes for all of us troopers. We could always go talk to her. She was so kind, always like welcoming with open arms, and just always excited, anything to get involved in the community, better the community, or just to bring good morale to our agency. And so that it sucks that she retired, but she did a long career, and she did a lot of amazing things for our agency, the entire Nevada State Police, because she didn't only just work for Highway Patrol. She went to parole and probation too for many years. She's an amazing woman, and I'm excited for you to get to sit down and talk to her about and reflect on her career. So this photo right here, it was very challenging. It was windy. It was dark. Our hair was blowing. There was all these people. You can't even see, but behind us, or I'm sorry, in front of us, there was hundreds of people taking photos of us as well, as we were just trying to get this quick shot. Yeah. There's a lot going on. So I'm glad we captured it. And we took a couple other ones that we'll forever get to cherish. So she made history, and I got to be a part of it, and I'm forever grateful.
And let's take one more step even further with the fact that, being an officer is not just a man's job.
Correct.
Being a female, that you're not limited to the fact of just being in a man's job and a man's world in that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this showcases it.
Yes, exactly. And that's why it's just, I took a law enforcement class for women one time, and some of the things the instructor was saying I never even thought about. But as females, back in the day, female officers used to have to wear skirts and things like that. And majority of our uniforms are male uniforms. And they've adapted and given us female cut and things like that. But for a long time, they're male uniforms, cut for men, everything, right? And they don't fit us right, comfort-wise, nothing. But we wanted this job so bad, and it not only show like we could do it too, but we wanted to serve our community so bad that we were willing to wear a male uniform or do anything we needed to get to wear this badge and to play this role. There's not a lot of male officers and men that would be like, oh yeah, I'll wear a skirt or I'll wear what I need to to get this job. And we've sacrificed a lot in history, as well as this is kind of off, like a little too much information, but like, we have to take everything off to go to the bathroom, whereas a man doesn't have to. So there's just like little things that we sacrifice. So we'll dehydrate ourselves as officers, and we don't even really realize we're doing it, but we dread having to take off all our gear.
Yeah.
And, male officers, they can drink water. They can, it's very convenient for them. Like, there's many times we get stuck on scenes for hours at a time. And what are we supposed to do? Right. Whereas a male officer sometimes can just go find a bush or something, and it's like, so there's a lot of different obstacles as female officers versus male officers, but we cherish every obstacle that we've overcome to get to this point today. And we had our first female chief. Yeah. And so it's awesome.
And one final thing is at Nevada Highway Patrol Southern Command, you have a tremendous glass showcase there.
Oh, yes.
Of the history.
Yes.
Of all the different things of being
all of our uniforms, right, and everything.
All the different uniforms and everything like that.
Yeah,
right?
To show how we've came up in history. It's
very cool, right?
Amazing.
All right, so we hope to have her on soon. We will. All right.
Oh.
Someone had a rough day at the driving school. So I think that says 105 miles an hour.
It sure does.
Now, one of the things that I like to talk about is the fact that you may have a car that can go 100 miles an hour. You may have a car that the tires can stand 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. But these cars are not made to do this type of speed. And so those tires and driving at that speed, it's just...
As well as the driver themselves. We, as law enforcement, take training often to travel at speeds that fast, to be able to control our vehicles at high rates of speed, of making turns, stopping abruptly, traveling in wet conditions. So we train so that we can operate our vehicle safely at speeds that high, mm-hmm, to get to emergency situations. The average person does not go practice on a racetrack and train at speeds like that. So if you get a flat tire, you don't know how you're going to react to your car getting that flat tire. You're probably going to overcorrect. You shouldn't. There's been studies done that if you just hold steady, then you'll be able to like not overturn and stuff. But the common reaction is to you get startled, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know what's coming. But if you're traveling at speeds that fast, that's less time for you to react. What if there's something in the roadway and you have to swerve to avoid it or slam on your brakes? Yeah. What am I trying to say? Like every 10 miles you're going faster affects everything.
Is the braking, all those things affect the braking distance.
Yes, thank you.
And all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, so this one... So nobody should be traveling at speeds this fast,
right?
Unless you're an emergency vehicle with lights and siren, right?
And I like the fact that you're saying that if you're not trained, the race car driver, he practices every day on a racetrack.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so you're training to make sure that you can handle your car, truck, whatever for these type of conditions. And so this type of thing really scares me. Yeah,
and honestly, like I know there's a lot of people that drive fast, and they probably feel like, well, I could drive that 105 and feel fine. Like our cars drive smooth now, right? We're advancing in technology and stuff. I get it. Doesn't mean you should be traveling that fast. The reason there's a posted speed limit is because those roadways have been tested that is the speed you should be traveling at, that speed to safely get to your destination. As well as I can't reiterate it enough that if there's something in the roadway, even whether it be an animal, tire debris, a mattress, like there's always stuff in the roadway. Yes. Your reaction time at 105 is not going to be a good outcome. Right. For you or for somebody else. If you swerve, so like if you look at that road, what if they had to swerve into the other lane? I mean, and there's somebody next to them, or they swerved into the dirt shoulder. Chances are you're probably going to overturn, and so that's why you got to be wearing that seatbelt as well. But you just should never be traveling at speeds that fast.
And maybe put the sticker on there to think, look, you're not going to pull me over because it's a student driver.
I mean, it's like an oxymoron. We looked at this and we were like, this isn't real. This is real. Like, this is not Photoshopped. The trooper that actually, it was the sergeant who sent it to us, and we had a good laugh on this one because you can't make this up.
You put like the guy that has the sticker that says, we support this police. Don't pull me over.
And then they get in a pursuit with us or something. I don't know.
All right. One killed in crash near Sky Point. Now, we had the video of the maybe 5 or 6 trooper talks ago where the truck went over
Yeah. Yes.
and he lived.
Yes.
Seatbelt.
Seatbelts.
Don't mean to point at you. But
Yeah,
seatbelt, right?
seatbelts.
But he lived. And remember that? I mean, that was like the truck was rolling over.
Yes.
All right, let's see what Johnny
It's like a
has here.
movie.
Johnny, let's see what he got here.
Broke down in the right lane. A white Ford Fiesta hit the back of that truck. The driver of the Fiesta died on scene. Her passenger sent to emergency trauma in critical condition. The driver of the commercial truck did not suffer any injuries. Right now, the identity of the woman killed has yet to be released.
Yes, this one was unfortunate. Trooper Smacka went on scene for this one. And it was 2 females. The truck was broke down stationary on the shoulder right there. Had flashers on and I believe reflectors on behind him as well. And I don't know exactly what happened, but I know that's why we always have to pay full attention.
Yeah.
Because you never know if there's something stopped up ahead. If you are paying full attention and traveling, like maybe the speed played a factor. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to really look
But
into this one. But
this again, don't
could've been
text.
prevented.
Don't text, right?
yes,
If you're going to change the radio, make sure you look up ahead. The thing that I always worry about, which is really like when I have to sneeze. Right? So you're driving and you're, and then it's like the 2 seconds, you're like, no,
yeah,
no.
you'll
Right,
close your eyes.
But the thing is that I look at these type of things, right? So
Yeah.
we just have to really pay attention as much as we can. And so
Yeah,
not taking into account whatever happened
Right,
here.
but let's just say for example purposes in general, pay full attention
Pay
while
full
driving
attention.
because you never know if there's a vehicle stopped up ahead of
And
you, right?
it's just horrible. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
It was very tragic. And that's horrible.
Dear Santa. So I think when we talk about this, we think of the Trooper May.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
Trooper
we know that you've
Fontaine.
played an integral part with the family and with the birthday and, and the school and all that type of stuff. And so I think that it's now important, that we continue
Yeah.
with the trooper who just passed.
Yeah, I actually just was contacted by Trooper May's wife. And one of the new things now we're going to try to do is get the Christmas lights up because that's something Trooper May would do for his kids every Christmas. So some troopers and I are going to go over there and we're going to hang up the lights. We've got to fill these voids where he would have been. And now Trooper Fontaine and his children, hopefully we can do the same thing for his family. And it's just the little things that make the difference because he's not there. So we have to make sure they feel like he's there because he's not gone, right? His memory will
Right.
always live on. And so it'll live
that's
through
what's
us.
important.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Another one. So you sent me, we talked,
Yeah.
and I always, again, we come back to the shoes,
Yes.
or the little, fire extinguisher, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 3 vehicles. Talk to us about what you can on this. Not talking anything
Yeah.
about the investigation.
Yeah,
but,
for sure. So, like I was saying, we had overall a pretty much good holiday weekend, with the exception of a few fatalities. And one fatality is too many. So, 0 would have been an amazing weekend. We had one pedestrian that got struck by a vehicle and unfortunately lost her life. And then we had this crash that just happened. So this crash is beyond horrible. We had a reckless vehicle called in, and it's daytime. It's approximately 11:20 in the morning. So it's daytime. We had a reckless Volvo, which is the silver vehicle, called in reckless on 95 northbound around passing Mount Charleston area. Okay, so out there. And we had troopers en route trying to catch up to this reckless vehicle. And that's why we always appreciate when the public calls. 911, Star NHP, call us if you ever see a reckless vehicle, because them just calling got us on the way to try to stop this before this tragedy happened. So if you ever see a vehicle driving reckless, this vehicle was all over the road. And so we were trying to get there. So we just thank the public for calling in general. Continuing on, it's a two-way highway, as you can tell in these lower photos. It's just divided by a yellow, solid white, or solid yellow. So there's no actual median barrier that would stop a vehicle from traveling wrong way. So as the vehicle is traveling northbound, these are all the preliminary details. It traveled into the southbound travel lanes. Two vehicles in the southbound, saw it coming, steered to the shoulder in an attempt to avoid. The silver Volvo still sideswiped them, continued northbound in the southbound, where it went head-on with a gray Chrysler van, which is what you see down there. The gray Chrysler van was occupied by 5 individuals, 3 being children, 2 being adults. This male adult driver of the Volvo was arrested on suspicion of impairment and by the Nevada State Police and booked into the Pahrump jail and until we get the results back. But it was suspicion of impairment and took the life of an adult male,
and those
a little boy, and a little girl, all because of the actions of one. And after he struck those individuals, he continued northbound in the southbound, striking another van, a Ford van, which overturned that van. Was being occupied by a male and a female adult, but because they were wearing their seatbelt, they were okay. But it did roll, and who knows if they would have got ejected if they weren't wearing their seatbelt. So he hit a total of 4 cars and killed 3 people.
And so this is, oh my God.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Those 2 children, they didn't even get to live their life. The children were very young, and they didn't even get a chance to live their life because of the actions of one. And yeah, and then so also in the van of the 5 was a female adult driver. She was transported by air to UMC Trauma, suspected to live, but she has some serious injuries. And then behind her was another little boy, which he was okay. He went to the hospital just as precautions, but 3 children, 2 adults, and 3 out of the 5.
And he died too, the driver?
Oh, of course not. No, the driver got out of the car and could stand. And
look at this.
Yes, he got out of his vehicle and could stand. And he also had his dog in his vehicle, which was ejected, and the dog died on scene as well. And so he took the life of 3 humans and 1 canine, all because of a, I don't know, bad decision. A selfish decision.
And again, we're not saying he did anything. He you know what I mean?
Oh, right,
like,
yeah,
right,
we have
like,
to, yeah,
like,
it's
like
just
we have to wait, but
suspicion of impairment.
But
Either way, something was going on, where he still made the choice to get behind that wheel, and look at how many lives he affected just by his actions.
Wow.
So that's why we always ask the public, please call us if you see somebody driving reckless. Star NHP 911. You are exempt from the cell phone law. Please call us immediately so we can try to prevent tragedies like this from happening. We can't be everywhere at all times. So your eyes, your ears, things you see and you hear, if you ever think something's not right, call us, please. Better safe than sorry.
Keep your eyes on the road and your speed.
Yep. So holidays are coming up. We're going to get more people coming into town. We're a destination city. We welcome everyone because, that's what we're here for. We thrive on tourists coming to our city. But with that being said, please be aware that you're going to have heavier traffic flow. Be patient. Don't get involved in road rage. Do not drive on the shoulder. That is for emergency vehicles, as well as possibly vehicles that have stalled out. And
just drive sensibly.
Be responsible, right?
Be responsible. Drive at a normal speed.
Yeah.
Enjoy to come here to Las Vegas, hang out, do whatever you want to do.
Get to your destination safely.
And just make sure you don't get involved in the 17-mile backup on the way home.
Yeah.
Trooper Wellman, well, that's at the end, we just want to, again, give our deepest condolences and know that we have more things to come in the future. Mm-hmm. And that we're going to do everything we can to help both troopers' families, especially for the holidays and stuff like that.
We're always so appreciative to you. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for everything.
So we'll see you next week on the Trooper Talk, and thanks again, okay?
Thank you.
Johnny, was it good? Oh, yeah, let's say goodbye.
Yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Trooper Wellman, thank you so much. We'll say goodbye to everybody. I got a little bit sidetracked because it was very emotional for me today, too, because thank you very much. We'll see you
Thanks.
soon. Be safe.